Okay, perfect. We'll just wait for a couple of people to join, and then we'll make a start. You can see there's a few people coming in. Thank you for joining us on this Friday afternoon. So today's webinar is going to be with our lovely customer Alcumus and also Andy from HubSpot, and we are going to be talking about how HubSpot transformed Alcumus's marketing and their sales as well. So just to give you a quick overview, so I'm going to be your host for today. So my name's Katie and I'm currently working as acquisition consultant at HubSpot. All that really means is that I work with clients like Alcumus on their marketing strategies and help them implement that in HubSpot in the most efficient, time-saving way as possible. And today I am joined by Ree from Alcumus. Alcumus is a market-leading business for providing software-led risk management solutions, and you work with loads of different businesses, small and large, across the world. And Ree is senior email marketing specialist, and I'd say you're the main champion of HubSpot at Alcumus.
Definitely.
Yeah, if you'd like to say a few words about your role.
Yeah, so pretty much working with Katie to do the other end of exactly what she said, looking at all of our email marketing processes and looking at how we can streamline them, make them a bit more efficient and make the system do the hard work for us so that we just get to optimize and reap the rewards, really.
Definitely. Yeah, nice. And I am also joined by Andy Mooney, who is our customer success manager at HubSpot. Andy, did you want to say a few words about yourself as well?
Okay, hey folks. So I'm the customer success manager for Alcumus, and my priority is to make sure they get the most value out of HubSpot, working in conjunction with BBD Boom.
Perfect. Okay, cool. So for today's agenda, it's just going to be a quick webinar, hopefully keep it to half an hour. But we're first going to talk about some of the pre-HubSpot challenges that Alcumus were facing. I know you're spending quite a lot of time on a lot of manual work, so we're just going to be talking about that. Then we're going to talk about how Alcumus came to partner with BBD Boom and how we started that relationship and how it's evolved over time. Then we're going to hand over to Andy, who's going to talk to you about how to maximize the usage of HubSpot with the right support and how you can leverage partner relationships for that. And then we'll be having a quick chat about how that has changed your marketing landscape post partnering with BBD Boom. We'll also have a bit of time at the end for Q&A. So if anybody's asked after any advice or has any questions for Ree or Andy or myself, you'll have the opportunity to ask those at the end. So without further ado, we'll jump straight into it. And I know, as I just said, there were quite a few challenges before HubSpot, mainly due to the manual work and the amount of time that you guys were spending, I would say. But Ree, would you like to talk us through some of your biggest pain points?
Yeah, absolutely. So pre-HubSpot, it was quite a desolate place for us in marketing. So we had an ESP, but it wasn't an intuitive tool and it relied on a lot of manual uploads of data from the team. And we relied on multiple different tech stacks to implement different things. So as our marketing strategy grew, it very much became that we started, sending the odd email as a marketing campaign and then thinking, oh, we should send this to existing customers. And that grew and grew and grew until we ended up sorting data and uploading stuff that took probably more than 20 hours a week of a single person's time. And even then we were doing, the bare minimum of what good practice should be. It was a very labor intensive thing. We definitely hit the ceiling where to become better, we would have just had to throw people at it. The tool wasn't doing any of the hard work for us, which obviously left us in a situation where visualizing any effectiveness of our campaigns and reporting back to the business was non-existent. The tool didn't give us, that kind of useful insight. And even if it had, we wouldn't have had the time or any, focus time to optimize our campaigns or think outside of the box of what we were just doing day to day to get something out of the door. So yeah, it was very much a means to an end rather than a tool that enabled us to be better and get better.
Yeah, definitely. And I think as we went on as well, we started to implement, custom properties to help you categorize data, and then using that in one process. And then we realized actually we can do that on this side of the business, the renewal side as well. So it kind of grew and grew, as you say. But yeah, it was definitely quite a manual task for you. And I remember we are talking about the reporting as well. And it was, as you said, it was basically impossible to see
Yeah, I
how
could tell you the open
much
rate of a campaign, but in terms of, how it affected anything in the business in terms of sales efficiency, no insight into that whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. And then that makes it really hard, because then you don't know what to optimize, what to focus on in the future, because it's impossible to tie it back to the revenue and your customer conversion rate. So yeah, I think that's been a bit of a game changer, definitely.
Yeah, definitely improving, the worth of marketing and the tool as well, and justifying further investment within it. What wasn't possible, whereas, now we're obviously in a much different place.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I remember when you guys first came to us, we started working with Alcumus back in, I think it was around February, March 2022. So we've been working with you guys for about a year and a half now. And we literally just started with a bank of 5 hours. I think your team were looking for some support with renewal email workflows, and we're struggling to build those out in a way that actually worked for your customers. So we did some of that, and then we also did a bit of an initial HubSpot audit with Alcumus, just to identify what tools were they using, what areas could they improve, how could they maximize the sort of day-to-day usage of the portal, were there any tools that they weren't using that they could be. And I think a couple of things came out of that. The first one was sort of the data hygiene side of things as well. So managing duplicates, there were a lot of sort of duplicate records in there that needed merging. The life cycle stages kind of weren't really being used too effectively, or they weren't being assigned properly. And also some of the organization of lists and emails. I know you guys had a lot, you've got a very big database, there's a lot in there. So it was just a case of kind of cleaning those up, making sure that we'd got rid of all of the unused stuff in there, making sure everything had very clear naming conventions, which I know Rhea is very good at.
Huge advocate for that. Yeah, and we were basically using it as another ESP system rather than an automation tool, I think, when you first did the audit. So yeah, we were just using it as what we'd always done. And you guys definitely gave us the opportunity to kind of think, oh, what if we do it differently?
Yeah, definitely. It was a lot of like manual one-off email sends, and it took a lot of time. And I think also we identified quite a few tools that potentially weren't being used as well. So I know the live chat tool, the landing pages as well in HubSpot, we made sure that they aligned better with the rest of your website, so that the experience when somebody did go from your main website to the HubSpot landing pages felt a little bit more consistent. And then some of the tools as well, like the A/B testing and smart content, I know we've talked about as well before, just to help personalize people's user experience based on their stage or their audit status, which has also been very useful, I think. But yeah, that initial audit essentially just led to a support retainer. So we work with Alcumus now, we've got hours each month. And I think over time, the teams definitely learn a lot more about HubSpot and how it can be used. Initially, you guys, I think, needed a lot more, it was sort of training and showing you how to build things out efficiently, whereas now it's kind of more strategic advice, I would say, and making sure that you guys are aware of the latest product updates. I know we've got a session next week to show you some of the AI tools as well, and how they can benefit the way you work as well. So yeah, so that's kind of how the relationship came about. But Rhea, it'd be great to hear from your perspective, the makeover of the marketing system.
Yeah, I'd love to. So like Katie touched upon, implementing custom properties is something that's been transformational for us. So again, we were very much in a rut where we were stuck using it as we used our prior system. So individual lists based on, this customer is criteria A, this customer is criteria B, so they have to be in different lists. Now with custom properties, we've been able to completely, change the way that we're inputting data, and we're just doing one big data dump, which has freed up hours of our time, and feeding things based on those custom properties, and being able to add those ourselves is really easy as well. And we can be a lot smarter about what we're doing. Just today, we wanted to send a follow-up email based on an event, and just being able to check in a property of attended event, yes, no, made the whole process a lot easier. And automating workflows for always on. So Katie touched upon when we first met with BBD Boom, it was about renewal workflows. I hope you agree. I think every time we build a new workflow now, it gets more and more, complex.
I think they're great. They're very complex. They're
So,
very big as well. They're very sophisticated.
yeah, so that enables us to, again, instead of just doing the bare minimum of, oh, someone's due to renew, we better email them, we're doing it based on their company size, their audit status, their how quickly they paid last year, their propensity to renew, who internally is working that lead. It's just given us the opportunity to be so much more intentional with what we're sending people. And that makes it easier to cross-sell other products within the Alcumus space as well, because we're actually feeding the key custom properties, their statuses, understanding how long it's taking them to interact with certain elements of the product, which tells us, oh, you're having a problem with this. Maybe this makes you a good fit for this product. We're able to send things on a timely manner. So where we were before, as you can imagine, uploading lots of multiple lists, it got sent when it got sent, whereas now, we can actually do it based on this custom property has changed. That means you should be now in this workflow. This is the comm you should be receiving. And in terms of, from a new business perspective, all of our new business contact information now lives in HubSpot, which certainly wasn't, the case before. So we can actually qualify leads. We set our own criteria. We set our own scores. We're recording key touch points. Now, when we send information to the new business team, it's very much, this is a lead that originated on Facebook. They've interacted with 10 things. The last email that they received was this brochure. And it's just been transformational for the sales team as well as the marketing team. And obviously we're regularly in touch with the guys at BBD Boom as well. And like Katie said, it's very much gone from, I think at first you very much acted like our mum and built everything out for us. And testament to the relationship, really. I think we've become very self-serving. My entire job is to build things in HubSpot, which, is wild to think that we only started partnering with you 18 months ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's become much more strategic now. And I feel like every time we meet, it's with a new idea of, or if we did this to improve this, rather than just, hitting day to day. So yeah, the makeover is unbelievable. We've definitely gone from a 2 to a 10, I think.
Yeah, 100%. And I think the system is very intuitive to use as well. I think you've probably found, like you were saying, in only 18 months now, you've gone from not really having ever used it before to now building out these really complex, quite sophisticated workflows. Being able to build your own properties, being able to edit the lead scoring when you need to. I think it's very easy to customize to your business, and it makes a lot of sense, I think.
And it changes the way we think about things operationally as well, because it's gone from, being in a meeting, discussing a process, thinking, how am I going to communicate that, to, we could do that on HubSpot. We just need to know X, Y, Z, and then we can build this out, and that will be really easy. So yeah, it's definitely given marketing a bigger seat at the table as well, in terms of within the business as well, I think.
Definitely. And I think as well as we've gone on, we've sort of added on additional tools as well that we didn't really think about at the beginning, but things like the SMS add-on, the transactional email add-on as well. It's all stuff that we think, actually, yeah, we're already sending our marketing emails through HubSpot. Why not send our service comms, etc.? So it's evolved a lot, I would say, from where we first began.
Definitely.
So, Andy, over to you now, really. And it'd be great to hear from you about what you think, if anybody is looking for a partner, how can you maximize HubSpot with the right support?
Yeah, 100%. So the next couple of slides, I'm going to go through how Alcumus have increased HubSpot utilization. As like the guys said there previously, Nowadays it's more strategic, more quality over quantity. So some of the results that I'm going to show you, this is a report that we're able to pull in terms of HubSpot utilization. So over time, the important thing is that Alcumus has evolved organically. So it's like Katie mentioned there, they started off with Marketing Hub Professional. Then by working with BBD, then they found an opportunity there. They upgraded to Enterprise. Okay. Then by working together again strategically, they realized there was an opportunity there. They purchased Operations Hub and Sales Hub, and that continues to grow. So much, in fact, that Alcumus have moved up to our strategic accounts department now. Okay, so that's over time. But the important thing is that they did it organically. So if we work from the bottom up here, Katie, some of the things that you've said that they weren't really utilizing landing pages starting off. Okay, social was just to let you know, this is based off the similar companies in location, size, and product mix. Okay, so they're doing really, really well. This was starting off. Okay, but if you go to the next slide there, Katie, you can see the improvement there. Okay, so in terms of these numbers are really, really important, but it's all about the how and the why they're using it. So by working with Alcumus, they have increased them, but they're using them a lot more efficiently. And like Reese said there as well, it's helped them save more time. So if you're able to save more time, you're able to focus on revenue generating areas. So this has really, really helped Alcumus. And by saving time and making more money, they're able to invest in other areas, which has been vital. Some of the important ones here is the forms is pretty big, which means your lead generation is going to be really, really important. And these should all tie in together. So if you flip this upside down, okay, think about it as a funnel. You're doing ads and social. People are going to be going on landing pages. Then they're going to be filling out forms. Then they're going to be put into workflows and emails. Then you're going to report on it. So they all tie in together. And by doing this slowly at the right pace, not doing it too fast, but doing it strategically, it's been really, really important. And it's like Ree and Katie said, the results, the proof is in the pudding. It works. Like HubSpot is a big tool, so it's really important to work with a partner and focus on the priority areas. Working with a partner has advantages because you could be really busy, like Ree is. So starting off, Katie's able to help them. They're able to give feedback and recommendations. Ultimately, they're able to help them save time and make money. And that's what it's about. So my role is working with Ray and the team, but also working closely with Sabina and Katie of BBD. So the next slide here, I have a process with Sabina where she sends me emails once a month, okay? And this ties into the HubSpot area as well in terms of current status, grow, activate, and risk. So I've a really good insight there. And my relationship is that I'm an extra pair of eyes and ears. So Ray is really happy working with BBD Boom, but I could have access to certain product releases before BBD. So I always loop in Alcumus and I always loop in BBD. So my customer is Alcumus, but I also it's really important that I focus on BBD as well. So overall, it's super, super important to work with a partner if you don't have the time or the technical resources inside internally. And like we went through on this webinar, if you put the work in, it'll really pay off because the partners really care about you as well. And that like they want to see you grow because it benefits everybody. Yeah, so I couldn't recommend working with a partner enough.
Yeah, definitely. We always like to view our relationship with our clients as like an extension of their team as well. So I know all of your processes, all of your custom properties. So you can literally email me and be like, okay, I need a report on this. And I'll know exactly what properties we need to pull into that to make sure that you've got the right information. So it's just quite nice having that extra pair of eyes and ears, as you say, Andy, just so that when you do have emergencies or you need something quickly, you've not got the time or resource internally, it's just somebody to go to. And also for strategic advice, just to check over things. I know sometimes you're like, can you make sure I've set this workflow up properly? And then I can always give points. I mean, normally they're great, but yeah, it's nice to know, I guess, you've got that available.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, so Alcumus will have you as support, they have me as support, and you have the HubSpot support. So there's 3 different areas there to reach out. So like they have lots of the bases covered.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, thanks for that, Andy. That's really great.
No problem.
So we're just going to talk a little bit about the sort of post-partnership. Well, we say post-partnership, but we're still working with you guys. But what that looks like now and some of the sort of tangible results that you've been able to achieve. So I know, Ree, you've put a lot into this one. Did you want to talk us through these?
Yeah, my absolute favorite thing to talk about. So if we go back to where we were prior to partnering or prior to getting up and running on the tool, we had no visualization into our marketing performance. Whereas now, especially in the last month, but I'm obsessed with HubSpot reporting and dashboards at the minute. We use it across all of our marketing teams to visualize our lead volume, their status, make informed predictions. So every week I can look at something and go, we've got a pot of 20 leads that I expect to be qualified marketing leads next week. Based on the campaign we ran last quarter, I expect our new campaign to qualify X amount of leads. This is where it should be. We should change this. So that's absolutely incredible for us to work collaboratively with our sales teams to, have a word with ourselves about, is our marketing being as effective as it could be? And it gives us a place to start from, right? Because every time we do a campaign, we want to do better than the last one. So we have a really clear and concise way of seeing how we're performing. The 30 plus manual spreadsheets we relied upon before having HubSpot is literally now just one bulk upload once a week, and that triggers off, I think 50 automated workflows might be quite under egging it. Like, we just dump the data in and we don't think twice about it because we're so confident in the setup with our custom properties, with our active lists, with our workflows, that everything just ticks over as there needs to be. So when we do think about campaigns, it's about optimizing them instead of, have I remembered to send that one?
Exactly. Yeah, you can definitely focus your attention a lot more strategically, as you say, rather than the small nitty-gritty details.
Yeah, so exactly like Andy said, we're just doing more. We're using it more, but it's to achieve more. We're doing a lot, in some ways a lot less with a lot more with less. Our in-light engagement, so the extent to which our customers engage with our internal processes has increased by half in some cases. So not to bore you, but our product essentially relies on people completing an assessment. A huge part of them getting value out of the product is engaging with us to complete that assessment. We've been able to help our ops teams who are relying on manual traces for this by automating those via HubSpot, which has been massive. Our prospect to lead conversion rate, so just in the amount of people entering the funnel from social, from ads, has increased by 5% in so far this year, and we're always optimizing that. So I expect that to go up even more. And where we are in terms of, what value does marketing bring to the business, we're now able to really confidently say at least 100 of our marketing qualified leads a month can be attributed directly to a nurture campaign in HubSpot. And, I'm sure more of them have touched HubSpot in some way or another other than that. But those, 100 solid leads every month they wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them being in an automated nurture program within HubSpot. And in terms of our always on, we're a renewal based business, we're a subscription membership business. Customers renewing is really important to us. More than 50% of our monthly renewals can be attributed to engaging with a HubSpot activity. So obviously the sooner they renew, the sooner we get that revenue in, the better. That's another process that we've been able to automate, streamline, and just evidence the value of, really. It's really nice to report back, actually, that of everyone who's paid this month, more than half of them have done it because we contacted them via HubSpot.
Absolutely, yeah, which is nowhere near where you were when you first started. And it's also quite nice now that the team's got sales professional as well on HubSpot, because you're able to see how well their sequences are performing on the sales side. And then once they finish those sequences, you can then feed anybody who didn't engage back into sort of like a pass back nurture campaign.
Yeah, that's another massive plus for us as well.
Yeah.
Is we're definitely in a situation before where once we handed a lead over to a sales team, it was gone. Whereas now we're very involved with pass back processes. Again, reviewing how people have engaged with things and just assessing what to do with them next. So yeah, that's been massive insight for us as well. And the sales team come into us for advice as well, which is a great relationship to have. We're working much more in tandem now as well.
Yeah, the alignment has improved, definitely. So yeah, no, lots of tangible results, and we're now working on integrating your systems, your CRM system, so that rather than having to do your manual sort of bulk uploads once a week, this is all going to be completely automated, so you won't even have to do that. So hopefully
that will almost be our phase 2. I can't wait for that to happen. Katie's going to hate me because I'm sure I'll be taking up all of your time, but that will open up even more opportunity for us to do more once we have that as well. So yeah, it's really exciting.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. What else is next, Ree? Anything else that you've got planned?
The integration is the biggest thing that I lose sleep over, but in a good way. Like every time we look at it, I think, God, we'll be able to do that soon. We'll have to think of a way that we can build that within HubSpot, and knowing that we've got your support and expertise to do that, and your understanding of the business as well. I suppose Andy just touched on this as well, of all the support options we have, but I think what we really value is, I dread to think, if we didn't have you, how much I would have to explain myself when we have a problem, whereas it's really nice knowing we can come to you guys and be like, this thing has happened, and you know exactly the impact that has on our system, on the business, what needs to be done, what business units it affects. So that enables us to think outside the box and implement lots of things as well.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's really great. Great to hear. So really, I just wanted to open up the Q&A, really. If anybody has any questions or any advice that they're looking for from Ree or Andy. I know HubSpot is constantly evolving. There's always new product releases as well. So we're always looking for ways to sort of support you guys better with those as well. A lot of the AI tools, I think, are going to come in very, very handy. What are you most excited about, Andy?
There's a new prospecting area in Sales Hub, which means each individual BD has their own prospecting area, which includes scheduling tasks, all your leads. It's like an individual, like a deal pipeline. They have different stages. And it's all in one place. It's like reset, instead of clicking in here, clicking in there, all in one spot, make them more productive, will ultimately help them make more sales.
Yeah, it's a game changer, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Showing a client that the other day, and they were like, oh, this is just what we need. Yeah, nice. Well, I don't think we've had anything from the Q&A, so we can wrap up here and finish on time, which is great. So we've just added our contact details here if anybody does have any further questions or wants to get in touch. Our next webinar is going to be on October the 27th at 3 o'clock, and that's going to be hosted by my colleague Tommy, who is our solutions architect at Boom, and also Barbara from HubSpot, who is senior technical consultant. And that's going to be all around data cleansing and achieving CRM clarity. So if you've enjoyed this webinar, definitely stay tuned for that one. I think the registration page is now live, so you can go and sign up for that one. Looks like we have had one question. Is there a way to sit down with my own customer success manager and figure out where we are and where we want to go? Andy, you're probably the best one to answer.
Yes, I can find out. If you can send me a private message there with your email address, I'll be able to look it up on the system, Scarlett.
Perfect. Thanks, Andy. That's
No
great.
problem.
Cool. And Lisa's just said, thank you. Great webinar. Thanks, Lisa.
Thanks, Lisa.
Lovely. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there. And yeah, everybody enjoy your weekends, and we'll see you on the next webinar. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, folks.
Thanks.
Bye. Bye.